yeah, if we get it nice and early, we can do some analysis, plan ahead. I want to try and, yeah, hopefully I want to try and get a nice trade today. Right. Oh, good morning, good morning. So yeah, like right now, obviously in the short term, we're holding bullish market structure, creating higher levels of support, right? Higher level of resistance, and then a high level of resistance. So if we start to see nice rejections of the top end here, and then we start to break down below this first support level, then we know next stop is next support, and then that's where we look to extend and manage the trade, go break even. Morning everyone. Oh, a few people are bright and early. Hello. Good morning, good morning. And if you kind of look at it now, it seems to me like we basically had support over here, right? Made a high, and then we kind of like had this push down candle reaction to this zone, because we know that this is potentially the sell-off area. Basically made a like a low over here, right? So now if we can create some resistance over here and then look to start breaking down, then I mean it's evident that we should start pushing to this area and then further down at that point, you know. And then even if we get further resistance there, that's okay, but I'd be looking for a break of this sort of level.
Yeah, like we are like we're still trending up, not in the short term, but like this is like a pullback, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Is that what it could be?
Yeah, because what we're saying is his higher time frame is, you know, bias is bearish. So you have the sells in your head, right? You look at the higher time frames and you're like, okay, well, it's going to take a lot for price to now start to correct. But what we can see is if we're going to continue down with the trend, what do we need to see? Well, okay, well, we created a resistance over here. The 1 hour basically failed to break previous 1 hour high. So what kind of makes sense? That kind of starts to tell me that the momentum of this short-term bullish movement is slowing down, right? You know, if we see it like this, support, high level support, resistance, now we're starting to see rejection style candles being created, leaving conveniently a key level 151. Right, so if this 1 hour candle starts to flip bearish, breaking this kind of area, then I see us pushing down to here, and then from there we can extend off. You know, but let's say we hold this support right here. Let's say we hold this support, then we know that okay, this could be a further pullback, right, to continue back up. We know that, you know, so we've got to be a little bit careful. That's why I'm saying it's probably going to be best to wait for this pre-London support to break, and then we know that we're going to be heading off to, you know, next support basically.
Because at the level at around just above 950, literally like 950, that's like you said, like we tried to form a support, then we had a reaction off it, and we haven't actually got back above that area yet. This candle now is rejecting it.
Which support are you talking about, sorry?
So go on 15.
Oh, there.
It's
or there?
like here pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think right now it's reacting to this level because we've got obviously no volume, which is good. Obviously what we don't want to see is like a rejection style bullish candle over here, because then it would more make sense. It would then more make sense that we would start to push back up to Asian high at that point if we're still holding bullish structure because of these type of rejection style wicks, you know. But we know from experience that whenever the higher time frames are still bearish and you have this short term, you know, rejection bullish style wicks, you know that they get filled if we had the momentum to continue down, which would then be a rejection of the highs, solid break below our most recent support. I think will be sufficient. Even a resistance below there would obviously give even more confirmation, because then it's like if this is resistance here, then you've made a lower resistance there. But until we're out of this kind of little mini consolidation, I think it's best to just sit on our hands and not kind of like anticipate direction, because we could still hold. Because remember, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 hours against us coming down, but we got the higher time frames with us to head down basically. So if you think about it, you know, wait for the signs that you feel comfortable that price will continue down. You know, the same way we would say, okay, wait for signs that we should start pushing up. We have clean 4-hour candle. However, you know, we'd be fighting against everything that's kind of happened. Anyway guys, what's everyone looking at today? How is everyone doing? What's everyone looking at? Got similar ideas? Not similar ideas? So let's just take a look at our higher time frames. Start to build a bit of a picture. So we know that we had this kind of like support area within this kind of zone. So if we kind of like stretch that left, right, we're basically wicking back into the zone. So this is what I'm saying about for buys, we want to be very careful, because we know that we could easily be basically wicking back into this area to start driving further bearish, you know, and then we could start coming down, filling this sort of support level here, this wick fill, you know, then we start pushing down to fill these wicks that we also have around 15700. And then obviously once we start breaking below there, then we can clearly evidently see where the next level of support is going to be this next zone over here around 15200. So we know that, but we're gonna have to wait and see, because this was our deepest level of support that we had most recent 29th of March before the bank holidays. And if you look exactly where we basically closed was, you know, this was a previous level, very, very key level. This was also a very, very key level of support, and it does seem like we closed back above it. Now that's well and good, that's fine, but we don't know whether, you know, this is just like how do you say it, like if this is a whole zone, let's make this like yellow. If this is a whole zone from here to here, then we could be reacting into the zone to start leaving this zone to come down, you know. There's that situation there. Or is one going to argue that, okay, since we basically closed back above it and created a support over here, what would you want to see happen for us to say, okay, if this is a closure back above, we could start to correct? Well, I mean, a couple of things could suggest that. More than likely, if we start breaking the 4-hour high, it's probably going to be a good confirmation similarly to that, because then we know that, okay, since previous 4 hours a strong bullish candle, we're breaking the high, we should continue moving up with volume as we have a clean counter left hand side. So there's also that opportunity there as well. But we want to be very careful, because I suppose once we're above here on the 151, we are above this kind of level here, right? And we're above this level here, which is where we want to kind of be. This is why I'm cautious of the 151, 150, because it's also a previous level. You can see over there. Also, if we look how much liquidity we generated there yesterday, it makes sense that for retracements, where are we going to go to? The other thing as well is we could argue the case that we've been trending pretty bearish, right? So maybe we're not going to continue further down because we've actually moved so much down at this point, right? We've basically had, in terms of from the original sell-off, we've actually had over a 250 pip move. Some is going to argue that we're not going to continue continue pushing further down because this been too much of a correction. So I would agree to an extent, but I would say that if we're looking for the like retracement bullish, then where's our most likely place that we could retrace to come back down? And that would be this kind of zone here. Anywhere within here would make sense to me, that we could start to reject and then start coming back down, to start leaving that zone and then start heading further down to these lower support levels. So it all really depends, because we know that as well, once weekly breaks previous weekly low, I'd say at that point it's fairly evident. As we look at our higher time frames, looking at the monthly, monthly still got a little bit more room if it does want to come down, right? 150, 500 looks like a very, very fair area. However, the monthly is not guaranteed to come right back to this area. It doesn't quite work like that. Looking on the weekly perspective, we're already below previous weekly support. We're already at the previous weekly low at this point. We also got this previous level here around 158.60, which is a key area. So I think there's a lot riding on this, but we'll see. We will see whether this is a pullback to start heading further bearish. So we create a resistance on the 15-minute, but this current 15-minute candle is trying to move up. So you could now start to argue, okay, is this a pullback, and is this a pullback because we're going to respect bullish market structure? So for that idea to make sense, okay, it's probably going to be best to wait for a break above here, isn't it? And then we can push up to 151, 150, right? And then I know, okay, this was a pullback. So we had a pullback at 6:45 a.m. or 6:30 a.m. and we also had a pullback at 6 a.m. or 5:45, I think that was. So this is where we want to start differentiating between the pullbacks and are we actually rejecting. So this is why paying attention to the candles, I think, is going to be important here right now. The only thing I'm concerned about is this is too early if we break above here for price to continue moving up. Any close above 150, 100, I'm in. I mean, that's up to you. In my opinion, from what I've seen, a 630 close above is going to be a little bit risky. But the 1 hour candle is closing above this area, which is pretty good. But the only thing is, if we're going to start coming up, expect a lot of liquidity. I think we're going to have some pullbacks today because we are fighting against what's kind of previously happened. In fact, you can even see the amount of liquidity that's kind of being generated here. A lot of wicks. So yeah, I would just be cautious. Would want it to close 151, 100, then second candle to break the high. Yeah, that could work. I mean, it's up to you. I mean, I personally think, like, let's say this 30-minute candle was to close above. I personally think that I would sit out for a minute, because the thing is I know that, okay, you know, if we get a 6:30 candle close above, 7 a.m. has a lot of volume, right? Now 7 a.m. is either your lover or your hater, right? 7 a.m. is either gonna continue your, you know, your move up and everything looks great and it's fine, or 7 a.m. is gonna pull you right back down to a key support level, and you know, you're gonna be sitting in some drawdown for a little bit. So I think with this one, I'd want to wait for maybe like after 7:30 is gonna be a good time to then see further upside, because then I know, like, during volume time we're respecting support, and during volume time we're trying to break above. Early on it could just be a liquidity grab to see a rejection style candle on the higher time frame. You know, it could be 4 hour pushing further up to start driving further down. So we want to be, yeah, I'm going to move cautious here. I haven't taken a trade this week so far. Taking it very easy this week, to be fair. I think next week I'm going to start to go hard again. I don't think I am going to go hard from next week. Gyms are back open on Monday, so that'd be pretty solid. But yeah, just be careful of this scenario here.
I suppose that 950 level is actually quite important. That's where the 1 hour resistance is.
Yep, because think about it then, if we're starting to make a resistance over here, then it makes kind of sense that this was like almost like a closure back in the range, because we had looked like we were going to start breaking out lower resistance. Once we start breaking below this support,
Good.
I think a solid 15-minute candle close below there would be minimum. Take a look at gold. Ooh, gold moved up to target without even 6:30 volume. Yeah, if gold can pull back and create some support, which it is trying to do now on the 5-minute, it looks like a nice 5-minute style candle actually. It's one of those ones where the 15-minute candle could close very, very weak. Yeah, you need this 15-minute candle to close strong. Plus we're at a 4-hour resistance level at this point. Yeah, I would be careful of that. Okay, so we're coming up to 7 a.m. So usually 7 a.m. is gonna have either a volume push, or we're gonna have like a you know, price comes down to support. So we'll see. There we go, it's already kick-started. But like I say, we want to wait, because this could be a pullback for further upside, and the way that would be confirmed is if this candle starts to go bullish, right? 1 hour candle created support, will also close below 1 hour resistance. So I think we're going to see a move down to this kind of area for 7 a.m. Yeah, 7 a.m. should come down to this kind of area here. Here we go. Yeah, 15. This 7 a.m. candle should move down to this support, but I want to wait for this candle to close, because this minor resistance here for me just was not enough, because the 1 hour candle still closed bullish. Okay, so let's take a look at the 4 hours. So 4 hours basically flipping bearish at this point. So that's obviously something to think about now. The fact that the 7 a.m. candle is flipping the 4 hour bearish.
Yeah, even if we do end up heading up, maybe to pull back to like 700 level where the previous wicks are, and then it might end up flipping, breaking the high. But yeah, at the same time, start getting closest below, down, then we could definitely expect continuation, break them wicks.
Yeah, I mean, if we get a solid close below, then we know that the 4 hour would have officially flipped. If the 7 a.m. was just pushing down for 4 hour to make a bottom wick, then we'll know, because it will respect support. I doubt we're going to see one of those fake out situations, because, you know, we more than likely at this point would have already done it. You know, 7 a.m. is kind of a time where we're going to start to choose the direction for the session.
Plus, I mean, we're kind of already in, at the moment, downtrend overall, more recently.
Yeah. Yeah, look at that pullback on gold. Yeah, reached the 4 hour level, price pulls back. So what's everybody looking at today? What's the plans? Right. Yeah, we had the 5-minute candle close below that support. Four-hour candles coming down now. Yeah, like I said, we'd come down to this support, but it's whether we will close below 30-minute level or not. But we definitely got some nice rejection style candles over here. We have support over here. So if we get a 15-minute candle closing below this area, I think there's going to be a nice opportunity to see price continue moving bearish. I think if I'm gonna take a sell, stops are gonna be, I have to be above this zone over here for price to continue down.
Yeah, could that be Asian highs at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we want to be very careful. We want to be careful because we don't want to be caught that this is just a 4-hour making a bottom wick and then we are going to continue. So that's why it's important to wait for the candles to close. Because remember, like I said, 7 AM is either going to be the pullback or it's going to be something else. So we just gotta wait. Euro GBP buy plan today think? I think, Joseph, the best thing you can do is send me a chart, and I can see exactly what it is that you're looking at for a buy. Buy could be you wait for support. Buy could be you could wait for a close. Buy could be you just want to buy it. Only you know that because you planned it. So the best thing you can do is send a chart. But if we are heading up today, then I think this is pretty good, because now 4-hour candles basically made a bottom wick, which is better to say, okay, if we've got a bottom wick created, makes sense, right? So I said wait for candles to close over here. Right, we'll wait for this candle to close. Right, so we're still just kind of ranging here. So 7 a.m. didn't really do too much, but we did push down to our Asian support. We pushed down to our Asian support's over here, but we kind of moved down to like pre-London support, this kind of liquidity zone. Now we're just still ranging. Yeah, today's going to be a very tricky situation. To be fair, look at that, Kelsey, look at that 5-minute entry that was at 5:55. I didn't even notice that. That's actually a solid 5-minute entry.
Oh yeah.
To retest the high. Because it was like so it was like a 6 pip stop below this area here. And then you had like a 11 pip, 10 pip reward.
That was when it moved up like 10 pips in there.
Yeah.
Pull back.
Yeah. Oh, it's just interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
It's a nice little like structural move there to push up to retest this area. And now we're seeing more support being created in this area here. But we're also seeing rejections here. So this is, I think patience is really going to pay today.
Yeah, like I'm even thinking now as we did tap into like 158.60 that this is the level that I want to see it close below to get in. But then even that Asian lows are like 800, so I might even just wait for that to break if you do it down.
Yeah, I think that could give good option there to know that we're going to come back to retest these lows.
We could bounce either way, couldn't we? Any point in it?
Yeah, I think as well, because where we're at is a real high time frame. Like if you think about it, yeah, we remember just before the start of the stream, obviously I'm not saying like I do trend lines or whatever, but we're in a really like tricky spot because we're at this area where we could start to go up based on the bullish market structure. We can clearly see on the 4-hour time frame creating higher levels of support, right? And we're just basically coming to a support level here previously. You can see that we're here there now, so it kind of makes sense that we could start to head up, right? It does kind of make sense, but then you look at it like, okay, well, how did we head up last time? We can see how we had like that bearish correction, and then we had like consolidation here for a little bit. We retested the lows, failed to break lower, and then continued up. We may see something similar here, where we basically consolidate within the range, push down to lows, fail to break lows, or break lower. We could break lower, but if we're going to respect bullish market structure, then it kind of makes sense if we like consolidate like we did here previously, and then once we start to break above here, you could actually take longer term buys back up, and I'm thinking that too. If we start to break above this kind of like area here, if we create some consolidation, we could take nice longer term plays back up and like truly hold it, that whole move to get corrected. It'd be like a 200 pip play. But yeah, I don't like trend lines, or I'm not a trend line sort of guy, but in terms of the structure, like it's just evident, like it's there, like there's no denying it. structure looks too bullish for me right now. I don't think we're gonna come down just yet. We haven't really had any volume. We haven't broken down. We haven't really done shit. So I think we're just chilling. So news today. I think we got some at like 9:30, but apart from that, we're good. Yeah, we got some at 9:30. Let's make sure there's been no announcements. No. No, we're good. More public spending from the White House. Okay, 1 hour starting to move up, which is good. 30-minute also trying to move bullish. But listen guys, if you're taking buys above 151, right, let me tell you this. You're going to need very conservative stop loss. 100%, because we could easily see wicks back down, liquidity being generated back at like 150, 900, etc. You might even be right, Kelsey. It might even be better to let a high be made above here, but we'll see at the time. Because it depends. We may just run off, which actually would be better, because then you're not, you wait for retracement, support to form, and then that would be solid.
Yeah, I don't think buys above there would be too much of a problem. You could even get out at like 150 and then, wait until we make a high and pull back and get back in.
Yeah, I'd rather do that. I'd rather secure profits at like 15, 14 pips. Yeah, I'll be pretty happy with like 13, 14 pips, to be honest, just for today. Because I know longer term, we're going to have a lot of issues coming up. But we'll need like structure to tell us we're coming up. Because what's to say we don't break the highs and then start to come down to reject? So I think caution is going to be a key player today, just based on where we are. Morning, we closed below daily support. Possible to retest to continue down. Yeah, that's true. But again, gotta pay attention. Got to pay attention to the smaller time frames. Still holding this short-term bullish structure. So based on that, there's no confirmation for sales yet. Okay, so we've got like 2 minutes left, 3 minutes left for this 30-minute candle to close. 15-minute candle is creating a higher level of support than over here, so we are still holding bullish structure. We're definitely struggling with volume over here. Oh my god. Definitely struggling with volume over here. What's gold at right now? Gold is pulling back. Yeah, this candle would have been a nice buy. Okay, we've got a minute left for this candle to close.
Very slow today, isn't it?
Yeah, very slow. So the 30-minute candle closed bearish, but still respecting this area. 15-minute candle closed like a weak bullish candle. So from 7:30 onwards, we should see some nice volume, but the 1 hour candle is still open. So we'll have to wait. Still got a little bit of waiting over here.
I'm gonna grab a drink. Be back in about 5-10.
Yeah, go for it, mate. Man, literally nothing. No volume right now. Seems like we're rejecting this area though. 1 hour seems like it's also rejecting that area. So if we can get this 15-minute candle to close below 15900 or even 158.73, then I think we will see price continue moving bearish. We'll have to see, because we've been respecting the support now for a little bit, but we ask. The thing is that the right now the way that it seems is, okay, so if this was resistance here, right, if this was resistance, right, we had this impulsive move up like this, right, okay, impulsive move up, further resistance created there, rejection style candles to wick up, we have support over here. So I mean, there's a probability that this candle is basically gonna continue running down, right? I mean, that's always something that can happen. But if we are gonna respect this area as resistance, right, then there's a higher probability that we'll break this support, and then the next area that will go is 15800, and then from there we should start coming down, filling these wicks, you know. But we have to wait for a candle confirmation. Yeah, we need a candle confirmation over here. Need a candle to close in our direction, because 4 hours, it's already moved up, it's already made a bottom wick, so it seems like it's rejecting the support there as well. So just kind of waiting over here. We are really rejecting hard off of that pre-London support at 15900. Really rejecting hard. But also, yeah, just ranging, just lack of volume. So we gotta wait. gold is now pulling back, which is good if you're waiting for some form of support to form, which is good. This area is going to be a key level on gold. Ooh, what's going on over here with pound yen? 15-minute candle closed at 151. 30-minute candle is now moving bullish. Ooh, looks like we're coming above this area now. Okay. So yeah, I think if we're gonna start moving up above this area, I think the best thing to do now, since we don't have a candle confirmation, is to allow price to make a high above this area, wait for some form of a retracement and a support to form for price to continue moving bullish. Seems like the most logical thing to do right now. Now we've got 14 minutes left for the 30-minute candle to close, so that's pretty good. But the 15-minute candle, it came up and it closed at resistance. So if price moves up, then that's it. No, we have to wait for price to make a high. 4 hour is now broken the previous 4 hour high, which is good, but we know that sometimes that means we can start pulling back. I'm expecting a further pullback at 8 AM potentially. So yeah, we're gonna be cautious where we step, but obviously let's wait and see if we can maybe create some support above here. Is going to be a safest option, isn't it? So this is quite alright. If price is moving up, that's quite okay, because then wherever price makes a high, it's going to retrace and it's going to form some support. So I'm quite happy to let that situation play out.
Right.
Yo. Yeah, so ended up being, I was potentially looking for this 15 to close below that level to continue down. Then the next 15-minute candle closed at resistance. So we couldn't take a buy. We couldn't do anything at that point. Now it's moving above, which I'm quite happy about, to be honest, because then if we pull back, create some support, then I know we have a target in mind that we can reach. So I'm quite happy for price to do this right now.
Yeah, me too. Because yeah, we can get a reaction off 150, 150, and then pull back.
Exactly, and I think the way that it's moving now, we should create some support. I'm starving hungry. Oh. So we're just waiting over here. Waiting for this 15-minute, the 30-minute candle to close. I think a support is going to be the most solid option here today.
I suppose once you get that support, you can expect us to like break through that 150 level and continue.
Yes.
Rather than trying to get it up to 150, then have to like worry or close up positions.
Yeah.
I mean, if it still closes just above on the 30, you may have a chance to get up to that level anyway.
The problem we have is if the 30-minute closes above, right, 100% we're pulling back, because look at where this 15-minute candle closed, right?
And the 1 hour.
Yeah, so
just closing as well.
We definitely would come back to like 15900. So I'm gonna be very patient today. I feel like it's gonna be really important to be patient today. You know, I mean, imagine if the 30-minute doesn't close above. You know, then we are in a very tricky situation. You know, so we do want to be careful with this situation here. Morning, Aaron. How's it going?
Morning.
Good.
I'm fine.
Sorry, mate. Say that again.
I'm fine.
Oh, good. Good. Sorry, it was he was a little bit quiet there. That's all. Right.
Then maybe even an option could be wait for that 1 hour to make a bottom wick, and then if you like, as it starts coming back up.
The thing is, we're coming into 8 a.m. We know that 8 a.m. sometimes is going to be, you know, a pullback. And if you think about it, right, if we're going to come up, right, if we're going to actually come up, then, you know, there's going to be a deep liquidity grab pullback. Because, you know, if you think about it, like, you know how we always talk about, you know, the better buy premium or whatever, you know, the session started around 900. You know, we're now over here, we're already at 151. So it kind of makes sense that we'll see some form of a pullback to maybe here, and then we start to head up at that point. I'm just very concerned about that we'll see a pullback here. And plus the way this 15 minutes setting up, I can just already see that the next one's going to come down and start breaking the lows pretty quick. But we'll see. see if we'll let 8 a.m. create like a bottom wick first, make sure it respects our area. We're coming into a hard position. You know, if you think about it, we're in such a heavy downtrend. We're gonna need a lot of volume to push up. You know, so.
I mean, every time we made a high in this current mini uptrend, we've pulled back every single time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look at these situations. Yeah, exactly. I mean, look at the situation yesterday. We had a complete fake out to continue with the trend. So I'm just paying attention to that. What I'd rather see is, you know, like where we see 5-minute candles that do something like this, you know, where like let's say the first 5 minutes of London Open, you know, starts to come down like that, and everyone thinks, oh no, you know, this closed positions. Then you get a little bit like consolidation, you know, like consolidation, like this. Right, this is something I want to see. And then let's say you get a bullish candle that does something like this, closes back above the range. Then you can take your buys to anticipate further upside, you know. But taking it here now, expect a pullback, 100%. Plus, if we close too far up, I'm waiting for a support anyway.
Yeah, there was even a time a few months ago in London Open, you'd see that happen, but like it would be like the first 5 minutes would pull back, the next 5 minutes would come straight back up.
Yeah, back above the range. Yeah,
I mean, caught out a few of them.
I mean, look where it's trying to close anyway. You know, if you think about where it's trying to close, does it make sense to take a buy over here? You're having a 17 pip stop either way, you know, and I think that's very. I don't even think that's safe enough. I'd say a safe enough stop is going to be 23 pips. You know, so this situation right here, gonna have to wait for support.
You can't have a stop based off the 15 either. Definitely not.
No. I don't even, to be honest with you, right? To be completely honest with you, I think buys anyway, if we break this, is still gonna be safe coming up above there. You know, if we get further support later on in the day, then I'm pretty happy that we will see further upside, because look at the 4 hours. You know, we just clean all the way back up to like 151, 650. You know, so I wouldn't be so concerned if you start feeling you're gonna miss this situation right here. Feels like I've been streaming for ages already.
Yeah, it's not even open yet.
I know. Yeah, open should do a madness.
Yeah. Hope so.
I just really want to see a nice wick down into this area, and then I'll start to leave this area, so we know that we're going to start heading back up again. Okay, so the 30-minute candle closed bullish. 15-minute candle also closed bullish. 5-minute candles were closing bullish. So obviously, if people wanted to get in on the retest, you know, here's your retest, right? But for me, I'm kind of chilling for a little bit, because we could pull back to like 950, 960. We could pull back to a lot of places. I wouldn't even be fooled if you start seeing it trying to move up. I'm still going to wait for some form of a support to form.
Yeah, I would call out in trying to do something like that yesterday. So
that's what I'm saying.
There wasn't really enough range from the close, so you try and get on the retest and it just drops.
Yep. London Open can do a madness, and right now I think this 30-minute candle could easily come right back into this zone. But if it doesn't, this is just going to be one of those days that it doesn't, I suppose. But either way, we can still wait for some form of support to form above that area. But you know, usually we take buys above resistance at 7:30. But today, I think it's a little bit more of a, what's the word? Like, it's a more delicate. Yeah, it is a way more delicate situation. 100%. There's no two ways about it. So I'm just kind of waiting here for a little bit longer.
You can expect on the 1 hour, maybe even come to retest 950 if we are going to head up. At least
that's what I'm saying. So we
already be flat drawdown.
Yeah, we can pull back into here. We can pull back to here. So this situation right now, I'm acting with caution. We could have sellers jump right back in because it's at a higher price level again, and we come right back down to these low points. There you go. Here's our pullback beginning. And then anyone who took buys is now in drawdown. So I'm saying, man, a bit of experience does really pay off. You know, you want to see candles leaving your zone. You know, the way the previous 15 closed, I looked at it, I was like, yeah, nah, it's gonna pop back in the range before we go anywhere. I mean, we've even seen it, right? We've even seen it wick down, come all the way back bullish, start flipping, and then go all the way back down right to where it was gonna retrace to. So yeah, I'm 100% waiting for a support to form, and this is why. Oh, so if you took buys, let's say you took a buy somewhere in this vicinity, right? Your safest place for a stop, I mean the safest place is gonna be here. If you really don't want, you know, to be in a position where you get stopped out pretty quick, etc., then obviously stops below here is gonna be the safest option, right? Of course it is. But if you're scalping and you're looking at, you got an entry, let's say on the retest here, and you're looking for a safe place to put a stop loss, then minimum is going to need to be below 900. Minimum. Absolute minimum. In my opinion. I'd say even the 30-minute low is going to be very tight still. Because we've seen where the liquidity is being generated. Right? So, on that front, it's, yeah. Yeah, the most comfortable thing I want to see is, let's say this 15-minute candle closes above that area. It actually respects 151. And then we can get like a further bullish candle forming here. That would be pretty sweet. Ooh, goddamn. Yeah, like I said, unless your stop loss is way down over here, I'd say would be the most pretty conservative. Unless it's down over here, then don't worry about the drawdown. But if it's over here, then this drawdown's gonna suck a bit, because I mean, you took buys here and you're already back in the range at support. So be very careful. Man, London Open. London Open.
Yeah, definitely got to be more careful around London Open,
Mm-hmm.
because shit like this happens all the time.
Yep. And even to the point where some people like I've done it. I'm guilty of it. So what I've done before, which hasn't worked, is let's say we get the close above, and then you're expecting London Open to like continue moving price up. Let's say, for example, and what some people are going to do is they're going to wait for this bottom wick to be formed. Now that's a really good thing, right? I 100% agree. That's going to be a good option. But sometimes what's going to happen is you're going to see the bottom wick created. You're going to see it retracing. People are going to take the buy, right, when it flips. And because the candle hasn't closed, right, London Open's like crazy wild time. Boom. Straight back down. Comes right back down to where you entered in, or whatever, right? Literally, I've seen that so many times with Open.
Maybe you'd want to see then, like, on the 5 minute support, like good support above there, to show that we're not just impulsively coming back up.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing to do is to look at every 8 a.m. between 7:30 and 8 a.m. candle, or let's say between 7:30 and 8:30, right? And then you want to see when it's done its liquidity, when it's done its pullback, what did it do on the smaller time frames for you to then know that, okay, its bottom wick's been created, its rejection, liquidity, whatever has finished. That's the best thing to do, because otherwise, apart from that, we wouldn't want to take buys until we have support above here. Because if we close back in the range, then we know once we break below 900, we're coming fucking down, innit? You know what I'm saying? So look at it right now. If someone has a stop below previous 30-minute, man, this is one of those days.
I think that's what I'm learning. Like on the 4 hour, we have obviously at 151, we have previous level we keep tapping into. We just made like a new high on the 4 hour, but then a close above that 4 hour level isn't good enough. You need like support.
Yeah.
To say we're holding this level.
Yes.
It is counter trend.
That's it. And that's one of the many things that I've had to learn. I mean, look at this. If you got in and you had your stop below the previous 30-minute, you're going to be stopped out within the first 10 minutes. And I hate that sort of feeling. So yeah, I'm pretty glad actually I stayed out of this situation. I think you are too as well.
So
Man, look at the 4 hour now. It's broken the high. It's basically back to where it started. Look at that, it's coming down to break the 30-minute low. Yeah. Man, oh man. GJ breaks hearts. But it is what it is, guys. I mean, you know, you got to understand. Got to understand price, market structure. Got to understand all these key things. You know, the other thing as well is reason why I think a support is really important was because this was a previous level of support, exactly at 151 on the daily. Kelsey as well. And if we created a support, like let's say whenever we see support, yeah, what do we say? We say, you know, yeah, close above is going to be sweet, but the safest option is to wait for a further support to be created back above. We have not created support above 151, therefore was not convinced we would head up. You know, we're now right back to where the 4-hour candle opened. Daily is starting to leave this zone potentially. If we start to break down, then we could be coming downtown today. Yeah, 4 hours now flipping back bearish. You know, if the 4 hour starts to break its own low, where's the most high probability that we're coming? You know, back down to support. Oh man, look at this 30-minute candle.
Oh man.
It's just crazy because it feels good to like completely.
So yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, where you know that like 2-3 months ago. See, this is where personal progression, and this is important to talk about with everybody, right? This is where personal progression seriously does come into play, because if you're not working on yourself behind the scenes, if you're not looking to get a better trader, then you're going to get caught out in these situations. It's based on the fact that I've made this mistake numerous times, that I know, you know, like I know a 730 close above resistance is a solid option. I know that. I always look for that type of thing. However, you know, depending where we are in the market situation, depends to me whether I want to be in that trade or not. You know, and this situation here, I already knew what I was planning to do. You know, the minute I saw this candle here, I'm skeptical anyway of any further upside yet. You know, despite the fact that the 30 looks amazingly strong, everyone's like, yeah, we should continue. You know, go. You know, you need to go and replicate this and see how you get on. So at that point now, I mean, I suppose we're just gonna have to wait.
I mean, like, yeah, we made a new high here.
Yep.
We had a bearish candle, new high here, big pullback, another high, bearish candle, another high. So it's just like, it's obvious.
Yep.
That we're struggling.
Yep.
That we're coming to like areas on a high time frame that we need to see respected, and we might head down.
Exactly. Not paying people not paying attention to what's going on around them. But honestly, I'm trying to think how we can catch a beautiful little sell maybe later on if this is a fake out to come down. Because if this is a fake out, then we're coming down to these lows. Do you know what I'm saying? We will.
Yeah.
You know, and then you could even argue if we start to reject these lows later on. Let's say we come down to 140.680. And let's say you're seeing solid candles rejecting that area, then you know what we're doing. We're coming right back up. Why are we coming back up? Because we're at 4 hour support. If we can't break down 4 hour support, what happened last time? Go look what happened last time. Over here. Right? 24th of March. Go see what happened. Retested the low that was created. Double, you could say, I know some people are going to be like, oh yeah, double bottom. Okay, double bottom, whatever. 2 double bottoms, right? What does that actually mean? Failure to break lower, failure to break the lows. What does that mean? We're at least coming back to the most recent high. Where was that? There. What happens when we break that level of resistance? Correction. And then there was your liquidity grab in London. Same situation. Replicate. But I mean, right now we don't really know where price wants to go. So 15-minute candle, boom, right back down to 900. No prisoners whatsoever. You know, what's going to be a solid option? It's going to be very difficult at this point. You know, a break below pre-London support will give us a push down to like 800 and then potentially down to 680. But now we have to think about, if we're trying to take sells, how are we going to find some form of a stop loss to, you know, look at that. The other thing as well is we are still respecting short-term bullish market structure. So, you know, for me, I think it would be better to let this do its thing. And then what I've seen is around like 10 a.m., 9 a.m., you basically get some form of support formed. Right, we get support formed. In fact, let me just redraw that. I'm a bit of an OCD when it comes to bad drawings. Right, so if this is pullback phase is going to do one or two things. Either we're coming down to support because we're failing to break highs, or we're going to come and create a support here, get candle closures back above, right? This becomes a target because it's a high made, and we can look to extend off of that and then push up to 150, 151, 150. So, yeah. Oh, I need to get some brekkie soon, man. Starving. Anyway, YouTube, why are you guys so quiet?
Yeah, not much in the chat, is there? That's what I'm
No,
saying.
not at all. No charts. No nothing. Even if you guys just want to talk rubbish, can do some discussion. Oh, look at this now, man. GJ.
You used to do this all the time though, like pre-London. It would come up, and then it would just do a fake out.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay. Yo. I just subscribed at your channel. Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate that a lot. Are you a Raja? Yeah, I learned from Raja from before. Now obviously I do my own thing, got my own group and everything, but yeah, I learned a lot of things from Mr. Raja Banks, so big up Mr. Raja Banks. But you know, a lot of the things that he's taught me about trading, you know, has been what's been able for me to find my own path, you know. You know, that's kind of one of the things that he installed in me, you know, as they say. But yeah, I learned a lot from Raja, a lot. You know, the best things I learned from Raja was about risk management, which is something that well, obviously risk management in terms of losses, you know, how to really reduce your losses, how to manage trades, that type of thing. 100% really helped with that. But yeah, I mean, that was probably the biggest thing. And then about the whole, you know, reviewing your performance and, you know, seeing how you could have taken the winning trade. And once I got that mentality, that was it. You know, I was in my own lane. I focused on myself for the whole of 2020. Focused on, you know, creating my own group and everything. So yeah, man, I'm personally thinking now, right, since if this candle closes below pre-London support, right, we can't take sells because stops are just ridiculous. Yeah, like, I mean, stops have to be 20 plus pips above the highs. So if we create a minor resistance, below here or below our Asian level, then this is target. You know, or if we're really want to, wait for resistance below the lows. You know, or wait for a break of the lows for price to continue down. That's also something that we could look at. But since we're rejecting the highs, it's fairly obvious now that we're going to come down to our Asian level. Okay, Leroy, let's check out your chart. But anyway, thanks for the subscription. I appreciate it. It's just a shame they didn't come up. Usually zombie comes up. And if you don't know what I'm talking about and you think I'm weird, I'll show you. So if someone subscribes, it should do this. But it didn't do it. It did one yesterday, didn't it? But I don't know why it's not been doing that.
Well, I have the YouTube on in the background, but I don't always look at it, so I don't really get to see.
Oh,
I'm going to have a look now. It comes up.
Okay, let's check out your chart, Leroy.
Delay.
Yeah, there's a slight delay, but I just wanted to know whether it's going to do that or not. I don't know why it just hasn't been doing it. Okay, so this is pound yen daily time frame. Okay, so you'll be looking at the daily time frame. It would be nice for this daily candle to break the low at 155.71 and retest the low at 148.770. Yeah. So I would agree with that analysis that if the daily, right, so let's put this into perspective. If daily breaks the low, where are we coming down to? Okay, makes sense. Probably hit like 150.200. You're looking at 148. I think 150.200 or 149.900 is more realistic. But you have to remember that, you know, we're in a spot now where we could start to go bullish. So we want to be careful. But the safest probably option is to see how this 4-hour candle closes. Think about it. If this 4-hour candle closes bearish, right? Let's say draw this exact 4-hour candle. If the 4-hour candle closes like this, where does it make sense for price to go? Well, it makes sense for the next 4-hour candle, wherever it's going to wick up, right? You're looking for some form of a resistance to form in here within this top wick, or as we start to break below here, you're looking for some form of resistance to then push down to these lower levels, and then you can look to extend off the lows. That's the safest option. Looking for sells below the lows would give you good options as well. But obviously, we know, like from previous, whenever price makes a low, we're going to retest that low. So if we are rejecting the highs, we push down, retest the low, and then we can't break lower, you know that, okay, once we start breaking above resistance over here and we start breaking out of this range, then we're going to head up. You know that. So yeah, I think we're going to have some further downside potentially today, since we are rejecting the highs. 4 hours about to break its own low. 1 hour is also about to break the previous hourly low. 30-minute is breaking down. 15-minute is also breaking down. And everyone who took buys got absolutely destroyed. But that's how it goes. So for me, if I can get a really nice pullback, some form of a resistance to form over here, right? Because the other thing that we know is, let's do this, right? Where's the 4-hour open? 4-hour open is right at this support. So if we go to the 30-minute, basically a resistance below here, right, is going to be a resistance below where the 4-hour open to go bullish. So resistance below here is going to make sense to see a continuation. But sells now is going to be very difficult. Stops would have to be over here. You'd have to target there. But for me, I can't take a sell right now. I've got to wait for some form of a retracement, and like I say, resistance to form. We know that 830 has a further pullback. So if this is the If this is the move down, then we should see a little pullback. Like I say, resistance formed to continue price moving bearish. So, gonna wait for that. For gold, we can take sell. You can take sell whenever you want, but I mean, if you want to take a sell, you're gonna get hurt because price is trending bullish, my friend. In fact, no one told me. Well, no, I'm joking. I should be paying attention, but it's hard when you have you're focusing on GJ and stuff. But in terms of a gold buy, you should have been looking for buys, man. Price made a high. Whenever price makes a high, you need to be waiting for some form of a support to form to retest that high. Not looking for sells. Safe sells would be below here, right? Because this is a higher level of resistance. So when we're above resistance, you wait for support to say, okay, we can head up. When we're closing back below the range, it makes sense to either take that impulsively and go with it, or you're looking for a pullback and, like I say, resistance to form and then to continue down within that range. Otherwise, this was a solid setup. You had support formed, you had a high made over here, resistance. You can take entries down over here. You can take entries as this candle starts to go bullish. Look to push up to there and then extend off to fill this wick over here. That's a solid setup. That's a really, really nice setup on gold. So that's a perfect setup because you think about it, we're creating support at a time of volume when we know that we can continue that move. And I'm actually looking for personally further gold buys above 1745 500 based on the higher time frames. It's also above that daily level, so if we create some support above here, could potentially look for further buys, but I'm focusing on GJ today. Focusing on GJ. If we take a look at the daily on gold, look where we're at. We're at daily resistance. If we create some support above daily resistance, where are we coming up to? Where we have a wick to fill at 1755. Let's take a look on our 4-hour time frame. Okay, if we break above there, we have clean move up to 1750. Easy peasy work, right? 1 hour, same again. Okay, let's neaten it up from a 1 hour point of view. Okay, easy buys up to 1749. Right, let's take a look at our 30-minute time frame. Okay, based on the 30-minute, we're going to see some reactions around 1747, but I'm happy about that. That's no problem. Let's remove this now because we have a new zone based on our 30-minute time frame. That's our most what's it called? Our most recent previous level. And then once we break that, we look left, we see clean candle. We got another area over here. 1750, right? 1750 is a problem, and then above 1750, okay, now we should head up to 1752 and then on to 1755. So trust me, gold, I think you're going to see a lot more upside today, and it could run right the way through NY, but you need to wait for confirmations. GJ, oh yeah, GJ is off. So GJ came right down to Asian low, whatever you like to call it. Yeah, seems like it basically 4 hours done that flipping thing that it does. So in terms of 4 hour flipping bearish was basically once we broke this 15-minute low. So in terms of an impulse entry, not something I personally like to take, but execute there, stop somewhere over here to look to push down to 4 hour support. Probably was the move for now. However, I'm waiting for some form of pullback resistance, or a really good option is going to be to wait for a break below 156.80, because then what's below 156.80? We've got clean moves on the daily. We've got clean candles. 4 hour. We'll be breaking down below further 4 hour support like yesterday. We could then move further down. We have a wick to fill around, what's that price? 155.80. Let's take a look. Right, let's take a
After
look.
5-8, we're good.
Yeah. So let me go
Yeah.
left now because I haven't quite. So we have a support at like 660, but oh yeah, that's fine. So yeah, I think around where was that wick?
580. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Was this the wick here?
Yeah, pretty much. 580.
So yeah, this area could definitely cause some problems. Yeah, because of this tap rejection at London session as well. Actually, thinking about it. So yeah, we could easily see a move down to there, and then once we're below there, we should be gone. We may find that we push down to it. It's like 10 pips, pull back, form resistance, and then break through that zone. Because once we're below there, yeah, we got nice clean ranges. What a London session today has been. Man, we've been nearly going for 2 hours already. Still nothing. No buys, no sells. Chilling.
Buys, no sells, no Salim.
No Salim. Yeah, below 680, we should be gone. Yeah, below 680, we will be gone. And we should see soon. And then if you think about it, look at where we are from a monthly perspective. I think as well we need to pay close attention to 15400. I'm gonna mark that down. So 15400 would personally be a good target for me. How do I get that little asset? That's what I want. I want a nice little text. That's how I used to do it. So that is a monthly. Right, that shouldn't move, should it? Oh no. How do you do it so it stays?
I actually don't know.
I want to wrap it.
I've been trying to figure it out, but I don't have a clue.
Do I text wrap? No.
I just put something. No.
Anybody know? Come on YouTube. This is what you guys are for, isn't it?
See, I thought at first you could just use the text and then you can lock the text, but I don't think that makes any difference. That just stops you from like bringing it up.
Well, how the hell do you do it? Because I want it so like it doesn't. It just stays there. Yeah, I want it like literally just there. So I know someone's done that before. Because Paul used to do it that way. He used to have all of his like 4 hour, 1 hour, and whenever he moved it, it didn't make a difference. It would just. So otherwise, you have to like readjust it all the time. Do you reckon you must have to like wrap it or something? Oh, let me try like this.
Try that, yeah. Oh, yeah, you're kind of wrapping the text on the line. So you see that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I've worked it out.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Sick. I've done it.
So you put it with a line then?
Yeah. Yes, that's how you do it. We've done it. There you go. Initiative. That's how you work things out. That's not even at you, but some people never use their initiative.
I've got no common sense. I'd never think of doing it on the line.
Oh no. Well, I wasn't directing at you. I just
still going.
Yeah, we actually could start pumping down now. I mean, think about it now. 4 hours now below 4 hour support. If we create resistance below there, which would be resistance below our Asian, man, that'd be pretty solid. Trust. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that because I just wanted to be very careful of this 400 level because we can get absolute banging trade. Be like a 30 pipper. Could let a whole position run as well. At break even. That's so much nicer. That is so nice. Just look at that. Stays there.
I can't wait to use that. I'm gonna try out.
Yeah. I'm like a little child. Oh, I found something.
Yeah, it's like
new
Christmas.
tool. But on a serious note, I'm gonna have to get a drink in a moment. It's been 2 hours, no trade, no nothing.
Nothing for you this week either.
No, I know. I've just had a really relaxed approach this week, to be honest. Because obviously we had bank holiday, we chilled on Tuesday, we missed the move, and then Wednesday's move, yeah, it was you know what I mean. It wasn't the best. When what was Wednesday's move? Can't even remember now. Oh, that was it. We missed the early entry on the 15-minute. Yeah, because I wasn't on my computer, and then that was it. So I just thought to myself, you know what, just come back tomorrow. If there's a good setup tomorrow and Friday, take it. If not, we're gonna have a solid week next week. So we are at Asian support here now. Imagine if we start to reject here and start heading back up. Because we actually have retested for our support at this point. Oh, thank you, Imran. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Ended up working it out, but still, thanks very much. Let me neaten up. This is yeah, because we basically tapped into 1 hour support at this point. So yeah, you would need resistance to form. We also have a strong level at like 158.20. We also kind of got this going on. And that. Man, why is the stream so quiet today? God knows. Boom, boom. Yeah, I think if we get a further resistance to form, we could push lower down to the 680 level. So this could be a nice little pullback. We know that we get a pullback around 830. Nice little pullback, bullish candle, bearish candle formation, should head right down. The only thing we want to be like cautious about is the fact that obviously we got Asian support right over here. So it basically just come down to the bottom of the range. But again, yeah. So obviously here is our support. If we create some resistance over here, there's the opportunity that we could start to just break through that low, or we wait for like whatever low to be formed, where it's here, where it's below here, whatever, and then wait for resistance and then take it down. But let's say we get a 30-minute candle closing back above like 900.
Yeah, I was looking at that.
Well, we know where we're going, son.
Yeah, man. I think that'll be good.
That would actually be probably the best trade, because we then tap 4 hours support, right? So we've generated more liquidity, more buyers, better price. We've made a higher high. 4 hour would then start to go bullish again. 1 hour would then basically either respect pre-London support, or next 1 hour candle, whatever, closes back above. And then if the 30-minute closes back above that area, then I mean we know where we're going, because we've made a higher high. This is a target now.
We should make a new high, maybe hit that 150 level, and be out of that one.
Yeah, because this is a target. This is where I'd be closing 50%. That's still a. Let's say we take a buy somewhere over here. That's your 15 pips, and then your runner is now 25.
Yeah, if you close half there, that's overall 20 pips then.
Yep. Or if you really want to, then sometimes what you can do is maybe even look to go break even as we hit this level, and then try and really see how far you can get your position to go up. Because once we break out this 4 hour consolidation, I mean, we know that there's going to be some form of correction.
It could be a big one.
We're gonna wait.
I suppose we're in quite a good position now, because that move down at open is now giving us the chance to get in sells or buys.
Yes.
Depending on what happens.
Depending on what happens, yes.
So that will close the hour back above 900.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But then if we create resistance here, then we know where we're coming down to. We know we're heading down further. Because if we create resistance, it doesn't make sense for the 1 hour to close back above, does it?
No.
But obviously our stop would be... Yeah, that's not too bad. Let's say we get that's like 15... That's respectable for the target and where we would want to be heading off to. At what time London will open? London opens happen, brother. London open is at 8 AM. So this was your London open candle. We know that 8:30 either continues or pulls back. So if this is a pullback, then we'll get resistance. If this is not a pullback, right? If this is not a pullback, this was the pullback. And I don't want to sound really confusing, but basically we don't know right now whether the bias is actually bullish or bearish, because we haven't got enough confirmation. The only confirmation we have is that we should technically be coming down, because we closed back in the range and we made a lower high compared to here. So then naturally, where would you say price is going to go? It's going to retest the low. The only issue we have with that is 4 hour support is here. We've already tapped into it. So you need further resistance to break lower than that, and then fill these wicks that are on the 4 hour. So this is your 4 hour. We'll just put W for wick, right? To fill that, you'd need resistance to then say, okay, we're going to push down and fill this. If we close back above here, then we know that this was just a deep pullback for more buyer liquidity to be generated at our 4 hour support. So we put 4 hour S is our 4 hour support here. We know there's more liquidity generated to then take price back up, to retest this high because you made a higher high HH than here, right? And then there, and then there. It's kind of, right, what you would argue happened. Let me just clear everything, make it nice and neat for you to understand. It's kind of what happened during Asian session, if you start to pay attention. Because what happened in Asian, exactly what Kelsey pointed out, higher high made than here. So you can see that. Pullback, right? Pullback below support, everything. You thought prices coming down, it wasn't. Rejection, support made, right back up to retest that high. You know, so like what we're saying, we've got 12 minutes left. If we get closes back above here, then basically we're saying the same thing has occurred, and we should then start and back up to there. But either way, we got 11 minutes left for this 30-minute and this current 15-minute candle to close. Let's take a look on the 5-minute.
I'll drink.
You getting a drink?
Back. Yeah.
Cool. I might grab one myself in a minute. Oh, need a nice cup of tea. Man, guys, we've nearly hit. We're nearly approaching 2K followers. That's super nice. Okay, we're coming to the last hour. 15-minute candles coming down. Yeah, basically 5-minute candle created a resistance. So we'll see. If price continue up, would you say your target is the body of resistance candle or the wick? So my target would be the body right over here at 151.050. And then if I look to take further positions up, then I'll be looking at my previous targets. So this would be one target there. Next target would be there, 151.144. Ooh, looks like the 15-minute time frame is moving bearish already. I think that was basically because we created a resistance on the 5-minute there. But so I think at this point it's gonna make more sense to probably wait. Let's wait to see how the 15-minute kind of closes. Could close somewhere over there. It's in the last 5 minutes as well. Oh, that is off. 15-minute is off. Yeah, we're gonna fill this 4-hour range at this point. We're gonna come down to 700. Yeah, basically the move was off of this 5-minute candle. A lot of volume. Yeah,
oh yeah, just seen it.
yeah, we're gonna continue moving bearish.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm not at a point to be trading the 5 minutes, so I mean it is what it is, isn't it? But at that point now, at least we know that, you know, we're below Asian low, so any type of resistance or break below 700, we should see further downside. Man, buyers got absolutely fleeced. Oh yeah, we've hit 700 at this point. 4 hour has also filled these wicks. Damn. Man, sometimes it's the 5 minutes, and today it was the 5 minute. But if this 15-minute candle closed bearish, best believe I would have been in those sells. But this is just, yeah, this is just gone.
Yeah, 4 hours and breaking these wicks to the left.
Yeah, we should hit 580, and then if we can get reaction there, pull back resistance.
Yeah, that's
Pretty
good.
solid.
Because yeah, then break the daily low soon, then we get reaction off 580.
That's it.
Or around 650. Then we back a bit more. Good.
Yep. Right, once this candle closes, I need a drink. Been going for a while. We've been on here for nearly 2 hours already.
Well, more than that.
Yeah, more than that, yeah.
2.5.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I hope we got a decent amount of likes here today. Oh, we do. Good.
Someone sent a chart, I think.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I was recently or not.
Oh yeah. Can you please have a look? Thanks. Yeah, sure. take a look at this chart. Okay, so you took a buy, 15 minutes, 30-minute break, retrace, entry, close 50%. Okay, so I mean, if you basically took a buy over here, we did I don't know if you was on the stream, but we did discuss why the best option was to wait for a support to form based on the higher time frame, bearish sentiment, etc. It would have made sense to wait for a what's it called, a support to form. However, obviously, you know, you've stuck to your plan or whatever. So I think the fact that you've closed 50%, I don't know where you've closed it, I presume over here. The fact you've managed to trade, I mean, that's obviously good, that's important. I think, you know, if you really want to get into the nitty gritty, I think you could have closed 50% as we started to break the 15-minute low. Obviously that's pretty important, I suppose, because you can argue this is your breakout candle as well. This is your 15-minute breakout candle, so it does reduce the probability. But yeah, I mean, we did discuss this. We did say that the best option was to wait for open to create some support above that level, and then you can see price move up. Without that, we was worried that we'd see what was happening previously, which is where we were making highs and pulling back, making a high and then pulling back. Right, same again, haven't hit, high made, pull back. So yeah, I mean, overall, you know, it's not the worst entry. Like, it's not an awful idea, because we know that there's always a probability that price is gonna go that way. I just think on this occasion, you know, it was a very, very difficult situation. Plus, I know obviously where I'm gonna tell you your stop loss should have been is obviously going to mean you actually would have lost more. So on this occasion, it might seem like I'm wrong, but for the long run, if you've got your stop loss not below at least the previous 30-minute candle, then you're going to struggle to have a consistent basis. If I'm taking a buy here, I'm at least having my stop loss below the previous 30-minute candle. That's a minimum for me. That's a minimum. So even though today having a stop over here meant you lost that slightly less, in the long run there's going to be times where price is going to wick down and then start to drive up from there and respect the overall low, or respect this area. You know, there's going to be those circumstances there. So yeah, like I say, overall you done the right thing managing risk, but I think, like we were saying, is the best option was to wait for some form of a support to form. That was definitely the best option. And now we actually have the 1 hour candles closed below that area, 4 hour candles in its last hour. So I mean, just have to wait and see what happens. 15-minute candles obviously create a resistance, right? But if you're trying to take sells now, we would have to expect this 700 level, etc., to break, whereas I'd probably rather wait for a break off and then take a sell, you know, rather than potentially holding some drawdown, because we may actually consolidate. You know, remember, there's no guarantee we're even going to break down. Now that we've reached this zone, we may not actually go further down. There's no guarantee to say we will, but looking even at the daily, once we start breaking previous lows around 650, 660, seems to me like this was all a retest and we're going to continue moving bearish, and I think 200 could be incoming today. Oh yeah, already breaking the lows there. Ooh, it's already coming down over here. It's like 10-11 pips already if I did get in. I'm fairly happy that we could see some reaction at like 580, like I was talking about, and then wait for like a pullback and then take a sell. But below 660, 680. The other thing you got to remember is the 4 hours coming to a close soon, but then we've also got the new 4 hour candle now. Is that going to wick back up into the zone to retest before coming lower? Potentially. No problem, no problem. Right, what's gold saying? Okay, so gold. Oh, it reached our top. Oh no. Oh yeah, it did. It tapped into that target there that we spoke about, but it's closed below this area here to the left hand side. So you gotta wait for further support on gold. Pound yen. Oh, we've reached 580 already. We've reached that level. Man, if this 15-minute candle closed somewhere over there, I would have been all over those sells.
Yeah, could have expected that to break.
That's exactly what I was expecting. But now, see, now I think it's very important to wait for resistance. Yeah, because we're at this area. But I don't think it cares. I think it wants to continue pumping bearish. Yeah, we can 100% continue moving down today. I think 200 and 400 are incoming. Completely makes sense at this point. Yeah, we're completely below now all of this. It makes sense to see the next 4 hour just continue dropping. I mean, if we continue further down, then there's no reason to say why we can't come back to these 148, 800. Right. Oh. Okay, I think I'm gonna go make a drink in a minute. But seems like price is just gonna keep on pumping. Is it gonna be one of those days? The good thing is, right, I'm just glad, to be honest, that we stayed out of the buys. That's the most solid option, because at the end of the day, we could have taken an L on the buys, and then you see this, and you get FOMO, and nah. You know, 4 hours gonna pull back. Well, I say it's gonna, but it should do. Daily is off. We may not actually pull back at all. So yeah, at this point, I can't really do anything. You know, we could have potentially taken sells here, anticipating this to break. But I think from a consistency perspective, that's not going to work. Where was 4 hour support? Was that 770? Yeah, it did close below 4 hour support, but I don't think that's the be all and end all, because we had support over here. Where was 30-minute support? Yeah, 30-minute support was there. Okay, right, anyway guys, I'm gonna quickly go make a drink, I'll be back in like 5 minutes, and then we'll see if we can potentially see some form of a pullback resistance to form, and then look for continuation. Okay, enter at the last 15 minutes when it broke support. 15 pips, I'm out. Oh, nice. Yeah, well done. I think that's good. If you've got your pips, you know, put stops to break even, let runners run. Oh, damn, look at this. Yeah, price is gone now. GJ's gone. I think that 15-minute candle might have actually been the entry. But we're only saying that because we see this big candle coming off. We still can pull back at any point, create resistance. 4 hour breaking down. Right, anyway, let me go make a drink and then we'll be back to see if we can start to pull back or not. It looks like GJ is just going to continue pumping. God damn, GJ's off. Absolute train today. Man, if we got in on that 15-minute close, we have like 30 pips right now. Good thing is we stayed out of the buys. We didn't take an L on the buys. We waited. I said if we create resistance below this sort of level, but it just, yeah, that's a bit of a shame actually. If I'd paid it, the thing is, I'm not at a level where I want to be trading off the 5 minute just yet, but I mean that kind of did make sense, of course. Right, anyway, I'll be back. I will be back. Bear with me, guys. Right, I'm back. So we had news, didn't we? We had some news pop up on pound. Let's take a look. So it was positive news, I think. So I think that's why we're seeing this little bit of a pullback here. So yeah, me personally, I'm waiting for a pullback and resistance to form. Let's take a look, because we're coming to the 4-hour close in like 25 minutes as well, and I think we still got a lot more downside. I think for the day, I think 200 should be reached as an overall target. So if we do get some form of a solid pullback, you know, like a nice actual resistance formed on the high, on like a 15-minute to 30-minute, then I think we'll see some nice continuation. But I think we're gonna end the stream here soon anyway, because that probably will be taken after the stream, no doubt. Yeah, we got the new 30-minute candle just opened up. 1-hour candles should pull back a bit. But yeah, obviously anyone who took sells, yeah, very, very nice. Well done. I always said for me it was going to be a resistance below that level. So yeah, for me right now it's going to have to be a little bit of a waiting game, which is fine because we know that there's a pullback around this sort of time, and then we get more volume coming into pre-MY, and so
yeah, like when we've got like good volume, these impulse entries work great. But
yeah,
then when you have periods where it doesn't, you just get like
screwed.
You have awful days.
Yeah, exactly. I think there was a lot of like higher time frame stuff behind this move.
Definitely.
You know, like obviously there's that to it, but I'm always going to approach the market in the same kind of respect. You know, I'm not going to be taking sells at the low when 3 previous 4 hours are bullish. We didn't actually close below, we closed at support. Next one just broke the low. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's not a good trade. It is. You know, there was a great opportunity there, but you really had to go with it. I think the main reason why these sells worked out was because of the volume and the momentum that was there. That was fairly evident. You know, I would have 100% been jumping in these sells. I said, didn't I, once this 15-minute candle, if it can close bearish over here, I'll be jumping all in that. So it could have been a really, really nice opportunity. I could argue that maybe this really was the confirmation candle, although we closed above. But then again, you know, like you have to really expect this support to break, right? But we hadn't broken it yet. Plus, this was, 4-hour support was around like 770, somewhere like over here.
Yeah, like the Asian lows were here, so we did get close below it. But then it was so close to this area, so it was like we had to have the volume to continue down.
Yeah, let's take a look on the 30-minute, because I think Asian lows were here from the 30-minute. Yeah, so Asian low was actually here. So that's what we want to look at it from. So looking at it like that, we basically respected it there, and then you got the 15-minute candle closing below Asian low. So yeah, in that respect, it kind of made sense there that you had the 15 closing below Asian low. But then again, you know, we know that's going to give probably limited option when we're at 4-hour support. But I mean, yeah, it's okay. It's all good, man. Right. Court GJ sells 40 pip win. Oh, very nice. Well done. You're very passive with your trades, if you don't mind me asking. Oh, how come you're very passive? I don't know. I think it's just about you know, not being too aggressive. I used to be a little bit aggressive, and it didn't really work to the extent that I wanted it to. So taking a step back, being more passive, has allowed me to, you know, be a lot more relaxed and take a more relaxed approach to situations. So I mean, for me, it works well. But yeah, the whole move was anticipated. We just had a lot of volume because it was once we created resistance on the 5 minute, did we continue down? You know, but like I said, I knew 5 minute created resistance. I knew that it seemed like we were going to continue with the trend. But for me, I was like, you know what? I'm going to be disciplined. I'm going to wait for what I know is best, and that's to wait for a 15-minute candle to close. But of course, looking at it now, you know, it makes sense that, okay, maybe since the 15-minute did close bearish, although we had support like 5 pips away, it was a bit of a tricky situation, to be honest. For me, you know, some people are going to love the idea of taking sells below here, and that works out really well for them. But just for me, on a personal point, I like to wait for solid confirmation, and I would say this was the only candle that gave us confirmation, so something that has to be looked at.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you know, when you're taking this trade, like, yeah, we broke the low, but we didn't have much of a top wick. If we needed to make one, then your stop's only above there. You're going to get stopped. And that's quite annoying.
Oh yeah, I mean, we've been in those sort of situations all the time where the candle starts breaking the low and everyone's like, oh yeah, we're going to continue down, and then it starts to do something like that, and then it's like, oh man, we got done. So that's why I completely stay clear of impulse entries, because there's always days that they work really, really well, and there's always going to be days that everyone's like, yeah, I caught that impulse, I caught that, and it's like, well done. Like, but you know, I want the most consistent approach. That is what I want. I want to be able to sit there and be like, okay, I'm happy to miss this, because I know when there's less when there's a session when there's less volume, a lot of people are going to get very, very hurt by that. Whereas me previously, I would be looking at, oh, okay, well, yeah, we can break this, and yet, if this was me a couple months ago, this would have worked out really, really well. But and I know, Kelsey, we've been in situations where I've been in those, and it's just not worked out very, very well. Just completely, you know, you get that whole anxiety because candle's still open. You're like, oh, it hasn't really made a top wick. Are we going to continue down? You see it stalling. No, I don't like that. I like having the candle confirmation, you execute, and you put your feet up. That's what I like.
Yeah, it does come back down to like a consistent approach, and if you're able to make most of these impulse entries when there's volume, then when there isn't volume, you can just pretty much set out the market.
Yeah,
that works for you.
100%. I mean, we've still got MY. MY should take us further down. So yeah, I'm just gonna wait to see if we can get some pullback. But I think from on a live stream perspective, I think we're gonna call it a day here in a minute. Okay, Bitcoin, don't look at Bitcoin. Are you still there? Yeah, I'm still hit. We are still there. Yeah, so basically this is price making a low. So like I say, if we get a nice pullback, some resistance to form, then we can see price retest this low. But I mean, we may just continue down. Which is fine if we do, right? We've got any fundamental traders in here? I want to know potentially why we've been seeing these. I mean, obviously we know there's profit taken, etc., and failure to break previous highs, but there's obviously some form of fundamental point to why pound has been moving bearish? I mean, there has to be, right? I mean, looking at it from a daily standpoint, I think we could see like a retest of like, yeah, like one. If you think about it, like we could come down to basically here and then start coming back up again. This 30-minute candle made a top wick. Is it going to continue down and fill this wick? 15-minute candle is about to close. I think we're going to see more downside here. Probably the talk of the vaccine passport. Very potentially, yes. Very, very potentially. But this looks like price could continue down. To 220. But I think that would be. It's already gone.
Yeah, it could work. It's just it's the last 15 minutes of the hour, and
yeah, yeah. Plus, I mean, if I've missed this whole situation, I don't know if it's going to be the best point. Well, it's too late now. It's already begun. But I was about to say, probably this candle here would make sense for price to now push down to 200. Yeah, I think price is gone now at this point. We're seeing those rejections. Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, 5-minute close, quite nice.
Yeah, that was pretty solid. Yeah, you know what? I mean, I've basically taken no trades all week anyway, so I could just see this as a speculation week. Speculation week. But yeah, we should tap 220, 200. Yeah, I think even 250 would be solid. But if I took that sell, I'd be going break even pretty ASAP. Because if candle's gonna have no wick, don't want to be sitting in drawdown. I know you don't look at other currencies when adding confluence. Yen basket broke out, strong resistance to head up. Oh right. Yeah, I don't really look at that. Yeah, not really looked at that. There you go, price should be heading down to 220 at this point. It's up 12 pips already. Yeah, you see the difference here, Kelsey, with this type of entry, right? How the 15-minute did that same situation that you looked for the other day, right? But then you see how the 5-minute, like how it kind of like
different.
Yeah, it looks very different. Like we basically created lower still. That was simple. Yeah, I wasn't gonna get no FOMO and start executing on that, but I knew it would go down. I was like, yeah, that's coming down, but oh well. Right. Anyway, guys, I think we're gonna call it a day here today. So obviously, you know, we discussed how the buy move over here was a little bit more risky, and how to wait for support. Never came. broke down, waited for resistance, very difficult. But I mean, the only thing I can say looking back is that potentially could have executed based on that and expecting this to break. That's the only way I could have got in on that situation. So I mean, yeah, it'd have to be, see, if I was like a fundamentals trader, you would look at it like, okay, well, fundamentally we're gonna see further downsides, so like, but I'm just a pure technical, so I have to wait to see price break certain levels, create resistance below certain levels, you know. So I think for like fundamental traders, today was a bag and pips day. Clearly a lot of bearish volume, bearish sentiment. Daily just off at this point. Yeah, hit 200, exactly where I wanted price to go. Wow. Weekly bit broke the previous weekly low at that point as well. Yeah, and we're now at weekly support. So I think in terms of like steam, if it can continue lower, then obviously that's great, but it's at a point now where it may start to reject, who knows. But this candle looks like it's taking no prisoners. Right, anyway guys, we're gonna finish off there. Thanks very much for coming on, everyone. We'll be back tomorrow. You know, Friday is just a chill day anyway. And yeah, so hope everyone caught those sells if you did. I hope everyone's had a good day. But yeah, alright then guys, have a good day, take care, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. So thanks very much. Drop a like on the stream if you've enjoyed today's commentary and that. So yeah, appreciate that a lot if everyone could drop a like. And yeah, alright guys, thanks very much, take care, see you tomorrow.